This one came recommended to me. It's an alien abduction movie that I've never seen before, with Mila Jovovich, I think, right? Anyway, I have no idea if it's any good. I've heard that it is, or at least that it's disturbing or scary, or one person I know apparently refuses to watch it again ever. So that's usually a sign that I at least need to check the movie out to see if I can understand why that's the case. So I'm gonna go find out, and I'll report back if the fourth kind, or really Close Encounters of the Fourth Kind, is worth anything, or what it's like, or will it just abduct an hour and 40 minutes of my time only to ruin it? We'll find out. Okay, Fourth Kind watched. Check. Yeah, it's an interesting take on the found footage genre. It's basically a self-proclaimed dramatization of a true story, in which they have actors portraying the real people, and they have also the quote-unquote found footage element, the actual videotape of the actual people. And they they don't just intercut, they actually will show you side by side, split frame, split screen, like the real footage, quote unquote, and the dramatization. So it's kind of cool. And it's basically, well, Close Encounters of the Fourth Kind, so an alien abduction movie. And this was recommended to me by a friend of mine who, him and his significant other were creeped out by it. I believe she, his significant other, refuses to ever watch the movie again, and he has an experience that, well, basically he often wakes up, I think, at 3:33 a.m., and that happens to be a significant time in this movie. So that would be creepy if that was a thing, and then you watch this movie and that's in there. That would be weird. And there's a lot of screaming and just people being let's say traumatized by apparent aliens that you can't really see, so you don't know if it's really aliens or not, which is kind of the whole gimmick of the thing. Do you believe what you're seeing or not? Do you believe the story based on the footage that's there and the testimony, or not? And so it's pretty effective, and Mila Jovovich does a good job as the lead. All the acting's good. I'm going to assume the real footage is also fake, and all the acting there is good, but maybe it's real. Hey, I haven't looked into it, and maybe it's based on something more real. I have no idea. That's for you to decide. Watch the movie for yourself, and try not to get abducted and probed by any aliens in the process. There's a cop character in this movie who's pretty insufferable, and I just really wanted the aliens to abduct him and probe him, and just, you know, upend his certainty in what reality is or isn't. People like that frustrate me, that can't they cannot believe anything ever, right? They can't even be open to it. That's frustrating to me. It's at least boring, and you don't want to be boring. Don't be boring. You want to buy the movies, buy all the things beyond the movies, believe stuff sometimes, or at least entertain things sometimes. Anyway, so the Fourth Kind, I was completely unaware of this, and it was well worth watching at least once. It might creep you out. You may never want to watch it again, but you should watch it once, especially if you're into the found footage phenomenon. This movie, I think, was made in the early 2000s, so, or at least, well, in the 2000s. It's set in the early 2000s. It might have been made in the late 2000s. It doesn't matter. So it was sort of a little later to the game there. That might be, it may have fallen through the cracks somewhat. But check it out. It's well worth it. The Fourth Kind. Do it.